G'day mates and welcome back to Aussie Oddities. You reckon you've seen all the weird critters Australia has to offer? Think again. Down in the deep dark waters off the coast of Western Australia, scientists have just pulled up something that looks like it swam straight out of a cartoon. Forget the crocs and the kangas for a sec, because today we're diving deep, like really deep, to meet the newest member of Australia's bizarre animal family, the Carnarvon Flapjack octopus. Look at this little fella. Looks like a pancake decided to grow ears and go for a swim, eh? Stick around, because this tiny critter is packed with more weirdness than a Bunnings sausage sizzle on a Sunday morning. Before we get into the gooey details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so you don't miss out on any more Aussie weirdness. And give us a thumbs up if you reckon this octopus is a bit of a strange one. Alright, let's plunge in. So what in the blazes is a flapjack octopus? Well, first up, its proper fancy name is Opisthoteuthis carnarvolensis. Bit of a mouthful, I know. That's why we're calling it the Carnarvon Flapjack octopus. Named after the Carnarvon Canyon Marine Park where it was found, way off the coast of WA. This little bloke was discovered by the brainy folks at CSIRO back on a research trip in 2022 aboard their ship, the RV Investigator. But it took them until just last week to officially say, yep, this is a brand new species. Makes you wonder what else is lurking down there, eh? Now, when I say little, I mean little. This thing only grows to about 4 centimeters across. That's smaller than a beer coaster. It's described as being gelatinous, which basically means it's a bit like a blob of jelly with eyes. But here's where it gets properly weird. See those things that look like Dumbo ears? They're actually fins. It uses these little flappers to sort of fly through the water. And its arms, they're all webbed together, forming a sort of umbrella or skirt. When it wants to move fast, it can pulse this web like a jellyfish, or it can just spread it out and float down like a weird fleshy parachute. They call them shapeshifters because they can flatten themselves out like a pancake on the seafloor or puff up into a ball. Imagine being able to do that after a big feed. These guys live seriously deep. We're talking hundreds, maybe thousands of meters down in the pitch black, freezing cold canyons of the ocean floor. Down there, the pressure is immense, enough to crush a ute like a tin can. But these little jelly pancakes are built for it. And check out the eyes. They're massive compared to its body. Perfect for spotting any tiny glimmer of light or movement in the darkness. What they eat down there is still a bit of a mystery, but scientists reckon they munch on tiny crustaceans and worms crawling around in the mud. One of the freakiest things, some reports mention their tentacles are blood red. Imagine this tiny, pale, blobby thing with bright red tentacles waving around in the dark. Proper nightmare fuel, that. Unlike your regular octopus that can change color and squirt ink, the flapjack doesn't really do any of that fancy stuff. It doesn't have an ink sac. Its main defense is probably just being small, squishy, and living where hardly anything else can survive. This discovery is a pretty big deal, mates. It's the 10th new species described just from that one CSIRO voyage in 2022. Scientists reckon there could be over 1,000 new species waiting to be discovered in the specimens they collected. Australia's deep sea is like a treasure chest of weirdness we're only just starting to unlock. Finding creatures like the Carnarvon Flapjack octopus reminds us how little we actually know about our own planet, especially the deep ocean. It's a whole other world down there, full of animals that look like they were designed by Dr. Seuss after a few too many VBs. So, next time you're looking out at the ocean, remember that beneath the waves, especially off the coast of WA, there are tiny, jelly-like, pancake-shaped octopuses with Dumbo ears flapping around in the dark. If that's not an Aussie oddity, I don't know what is. What do you reckon, mates? Is this the weirdest Aussie creature yet? Let me know in the comments below, and tell me what other bizarre Aussie animals you want me to cover next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who needs a dose of deep-sea weirdness in their life. Catch you in the next one.